Happy President's Day. Welcome to Group Chat. We have an action-packed episode. One, lot to discuss about the future of work.
It's your last day off.
You've
had 2 years off.
You've had 2 years off.
2 years off is your last day.
You better get your ass back to work. And this is going all over TikTok. You know what TikTok does not like? When we do the clips, we're like, you're going to go back to work.
Oh, yeah. No one wants to go back to work.
Yeah. Guess what, motherfuckers? You're all going back to work. All right. Now we're going to get into some news.
Let's get into it.
We get a lot of stuff to talk about. We talk about patriotism. Where the hell is it? Where's our nationalistic pride? We talk about Russia and Ukraine. We have no idea what's going on in there, and we know better not to talk about it.
Correct.
And, of course, we're going to talk about Britney Spears' new bag alert, how much money she just made. All right, let's go.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right, everyone. Happy President's Day. You know what I was thinking about President's Day?
Yep.
When was the last time America liked their president?
For me, Obama.
No, I'm saying like as a country. Obama's pretty polarizing. I know he probably was majority popular his first term.
Yep. No, clearly not.
In his
Like
first,
majority, sure. If you're saying the majority, like
Of
he had
voters.
over 50% approval rating.
Yeah.
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 Well, he won again, so he must.
George Bush obviously was not liked. So probably Bill Clinton was the last president that more people liked than not.
And then if you were to look at his second term, it probably flipped after the impeachment, Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah. You would think after the blowjobs, his popularity would go up.
No comment.
So, President's Day, holiday, day off. What's interesting is the beginning of the year starts with a lot of holidays. Because January 1st is a holiday.
Yep.
No
January 6th is a holiday.
January 6th is a holiday for some people, some folks, fine people on both sides. No one really works that first week of January.
Yeah.
Okay. Then they hit you with MLK Day. Then it's President's Day. So basically, like 10 days are shot before, and February is a short month.
And if you think about the number of events that happen, you have typically it would be the Grammys, Oscars, Super Bowl, NBA
Sundance.
All-Star Weekend, Sundance. So if you're like in that circuit,
Or if you're in that profession,
yeah, you're basically partying for the first 60 days of the year.
yeah, you haven't even got to March.
Yes.
You must be exhausted.
And like we know people in those industries that, you know, pre-pandemic, that was their first 60 days.
Yeah, and I mean, this year definitely is it because I can't tell you how many people are like, "Yo, where you at?" I'm like, "Home." They're like, "Oh, you're not in Cleveland?"
People assumed you were going to be at the All-Star game?
Yeah, they're just like, "Where you're not in Cleveland?" I was like, "No, I didn't go to Cleveland." I think people are just back in the rhythm of going to things again, which is great.
Yeah.
But this weekend, so this the past week before we get into all our news, the Kanye West documentary came out. Gene Yes.
Okay.
Interesting spelling. I don't understand the spelling of the documentary quite yet. If
So
it was
it's-
Gene like EAN, I'd be like, okay, he's like he's a fashion guy.
Yeah.
I'm still not clear on why it's Gene Yes. Did you watch it?
I have not watched it yet.
Wow. Okay.
It's episodic, right? So I think how many have come out? One?
Only one.
But there's
only three.
Yeah.
The trailer was unbelievable, and so I got to watch it finally this weekend. And the footage is incredible because it is truly his like early days.
So it's late 90s. Does it start?
No, I feel like it starts like early 2000s.
Okay.
I feel like he's already a popular producer as a most of the content. Like H to the Izzo had come out, and it's kind of his journey to become an artist. And the filmmakers basically realize that they realize that he's about to be the superstar, that he's narrating it. And he's just like, I left my career as a stand-up comedian
I did not know he was a stand-up comedian.
to the filmmaker.
So he's narrating it today
today
from his past footage.
Yeah.
So in advance of this documentary, over this weekend, I listened to College Dropout, and I listened to Last Call, where he does that whole
Shout out.
It's like epilogue, right?
Yeah.
Because it's at the end, explaining his whole career.
Yeah.
And how everyone thought he was just a producer. Dame Dash didn't want to sign him.
Yeah.
3H, who you know
Yeah.
from USC days.
He's in the documentary.
He is?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah. So 3H was at the time, and this is early, maybe late 90s. No, it was probably senior
early
year,
2000s.
2001,
Right.
2002. Young kid from LA, grew up in the Valley, and was in the music scene. Like he was an A&R at Capitol Records at like 18 years old.
Yep.
Signing artist. And he was the one that told us Kanye West was going to be the biggest star in the world. And we were just like, whatever, this 18-year-old kid, we don't believe him. But he was around us. We would all go out all the time together. And he also told us about 50 Cent.
And Coldplay.
And Coldplay, yeah.
So he
So
might have been the
unbelievable
greatest A&R that never actually like kind of became a super mega music.
What's interesting
star.
is he went to USC with us. He invited us one day to his boss's office to listen to music, and he played us Coldplay. He played us, I think, Yellow. And I wasn't into that genre of music at the time, but Andres was my business partner in 5-4, and we were like, oh, what else do you guys got? And then he was talking about Kanye and 50 Cent and then we didn't really believe the Kanye thing. And then the album came out, and then at the end, he literally gives a shout out. He's the only guy that believed in me.
Yeah, Kanye West, because I actually listened to this yesterday, so
Yeah.
it's really fresh in my mind. At the end of College Dropout, he does this whole story of how he became an artist, and he was just a producer, and the only person he said that believed in him was 3H.
Yeah.
And he said 3H took it to the senior people at Capitol Records, and he got squashed
Yeah.
by the senior folks at Capitol Records, and then he went begging back to Dame Dash and Jay-Z and said, "Can you sign me?"
Yeah.
I mean, can you think of? I mean, I don't know music management and history as well, but like, if you signed Kanye, 50 Cent, and Coldplay, is there a person that signed three bigger artists before they were big?
Yeah, no, there wouldn't have been.
Right?
If he had actually was able to sign
If he was
them.
able to sign those three, and they became who they were.
Yeah. Coldplay, I don't think he is the one that actually signed, but he played us his music.
Okay.
It's
But he
Coldplay,
believed
I think.
in it.
He believed in it. He definitely
So,
believed in it.
This guy's the best year in music history.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I've been around music people a lot, and I'm sure everyone's going to say, oh, this person, that person. But like hearing, I mean, who's the most influential musician in the last 20 years? It's only Kanye.
Yeah. And
Taylor Swift? I don't know.
Yeah, Taylor's up there. Obviously Drake.
Yeah.
But Drake also had Lil Wayne co-signing.
Well, Kanye ended
Had
up having
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, that's true.
But in terms of influence on culture, there's really no one bigger than Kanye West. Anyways, the documentary comes out. Watch it. Very, very, very well done, because this guy has like insane footage. And it's just showing his struggle. You see everyone who watched it is like obviously in love with him even more, because he basically goes through the struggle that everyone has, period. Which is, you believe that you can do something, and a bunch of people believe that you cannot do it. And so he's literally taking you through that journey of how hard it was for him to get noticed, to get recognition.
Do they like show footage of him playing the beats for Jay-Z and Jay-Z going crazy?
So
Because
I
he
don't-
talks about that in Last Call.
Yeah, so I don't think that was
the
in-
Gucci bucket hat. That's like the famous story.
Yeah.
That he played Heart of the City.
Yeah.
And Jay-Z puts
yeah,
the
yeah.
Gucci bucket over his head like, oh my God, this is
Yeah,
nuts.
we didn't see that footage, but there's a lot of footage of those guys and him talking to Damon Dash, and Damon Dash kind of just like dismissing him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's unbelievable footage. It's very inspiring. There's a lot of footages with his mom.
Okay.
He has a funny line where he tells his mom, he goes, "I want to congratulate you. What an amazing job you did with me."
Before he made it?
He had just got signed, I
Okay.
think, at that point.
To Rockefeller.
Yeah, and he was about to put out.
So he got the chain.
Yeah, I think they showed that they showed that footage, and for us, because obviously we were we listened to the mixtape that LRG put out with him. We got to see
crazy.
at the Magic Show his kind of early performances. Vividly remember he performed at the Palms, and it was not a good show. But we were such huge fans already. He had just came out with like Through the Wire. So it was, it was just being like witness to it live. So it was like an awesome story. And then obviously part 2, part 3 we'll have to see. On top of that, there's been a lot of content with him all weekend.
Yep.
He's just firing. His Instagram is my favorite Instagram now.
Yeah.
He just poured all over Corey Gamble, which is Kris Jenner's love interest, or maybe former love interest now. And then he dropped an album this weekend, Donda 2, which was only available on something called the Stem Player, which was $200 that you had to buy. And he's posting the sales as they're happening. So apparently he ends up doing $2 million of sales of the Stem Player, which at 200 isn't a whole lot of units. What's fascinating is he's kind of articulating that, hey, I made more money doing this than I would normally, which I believe. Like if you had just released an album on the weekend and it streamed, I don't know, 50 million times, my guess is you're not making $2 million based on what we've heard of streaming royalties.
Right.
So I agree with that. The problem is no one heard the damn music.
I don't know one person who paid $200.
Yes. My guess it's a lot.
Did you?
No.
If you didn't pay, no one paid.
Yeah, I didn't pay. 200.
Jordan, did you pay?
No.
I went
Do
to
you
the
know anyone that's paid?
I do not. No.
I went to the site and I was like, first of all, not a great mobile experience. Like he could have invested a little bit time on the UX of that.
Yeah.
I liked the idea. I thought it was clever. I would have priced it differently because it's not about making the money right now. It's about getting people on your platform. If Stem Player is your platform, but I mean, he's short-sighted, I would assume, on when it comes to that. The single, I think, City of God got released. I heard it on the radio, so that I know is out, which is a great song. But yeah, I mean, the whole purpose of art is for people to hear it.
Yeah.
I get the idea of limiting it on different platforms. I think the right way would have been, hey, my Stem Player is going to get it first, and in 2 weeks, I'll release it everywhere else.
Yeah, I think it's very similar. I don't know if you saw Trump launched his social media app today. And it's a complete disaster.
Really? Why?
You can't load it. As of this morning, you can't even download it. You can't even log on. You can't do anything. It's a shitty technology product. And Trump, for a decent portion of the country, is Blockbuster.
Yeah.
And they can't even get the app. And it's similar to Kanye. He has so many crazy fans, and he made it a terrible experience.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say Kanye and Trump have the same fanatical fan bases?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I would say they're basically the same person.
And their egos are so big that they won't just do things right.
No.
Like if Trump actually partnered with a proper technology firm and hired proper engineers and launched a proper app, it probably would crush.
I mean, surprise with Peter Thiel in Trump's back pocket.
I think Peter Thiel likes the Trump kind of ideology, and he's backing people that believe it. I don't think he really gives a shit about Trump.
I think
because Trump's deplatformed, he's irrelevant now.
Yeah, but Peter Thiel left Facebook board. He's a very smart guy. I think he's like walking away from. He wasn't involved with the technology. I think he's down in Palm Beach with him now. He moved there. Peter Thiel.
Yeah, all the founders.
What's Mar-a-Lago is like.
Yeah.
He's at Mar-a-Lago today.
Billionaires, when they get in their 50s, also go kind of crazy.
I think he's going to Mar-a-Lago today and saying, Donald, you fucked up. Mm-hmm. Let me build this tech out for you properly. He purposely let him fail. He knew he would fail.
Yeah, it's a complete disaster.
So
it should be the #1 app in the App Store.
I just looked it up. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, because you can't download it, you can't log it, you can't do anything. It doesn't work.
Yeah, that's similar to Kanye. You can't listen to the music. I mean, God knows when this Stem Player is going to start shipping. Like whenever that comes.
I mean, Stem Player sounds like Triller. Like a shitty version of Triller.
It's actually a piece of hardware.
Oh, it's actual hardware.
It's actual hardware.
Okay, that's even worse.
Yeah. It's not
You're
easy.
competing with Apple?
Yeah.
This is hardware.
Well, that's
These
what he's
iPhones
saying.
are-
He literally is saying, I'm competing with Apple.
yeah, you need a $200 billion in cash to compete with Apple.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Samsung can't even do it.
No.
And they have unlimited money.
Google could only do it in the operating system. They failed on the phone. Facebook
Yeah.
failed on the phone.
Yeah.
You think Kanye can compete with them?
That's what he thinks.
Well, he's wrong.
There's all these text messages of him. I like how he just openly shares. Like, I would be so nervous to text this guy.
Yeah, you can't text Kanye.
Because he's just gonna screenshot and share it. Like he just posted a picture of this white dude and said, "This guy spends too much money. Very creative, but he spends too much money. He's no longer part of our team."
Truth Social is #1 in the App Store.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Oh, so sorry.
So maybe it started working.
This morning. I was looking at paid apps.
No, free apps.
Oh my God, it's #1. So maybe Trump is better than Kanye.
It wasn't working in the morning, but maybe maybe Peter Thiel flew into Mar-a-Lago
And said-
"And here are the engineers. Let's get this going."
And by the way, this is even funnier. The #2 app on the App Store is called Talking Ben the Dog. So this is where America's at. #1 is Trump, and #2 is a dog that talks. #3 is HBO Max. #4 is TikTok.
5 YouTube, 6 Instagram, 7 Facebook, 8 Snapchat.
Who has not downloaded these apps that they're still
Yeah.
downloading them? This is unbelievable. So Truth Social is the hottest thing ever.
I can't, in my own moral compass, download it and figure out what's going on. So if someone else wants to figure it out and do the research, let me know what's going on in Trump's app.
So when you look at it, look at the description. It's actually very well done. Follow the truth. What exactly is Truth Social's big tent approach? That's what they call it. Think of a giant outdoor event tent at your best friend's wedding. Who's there? The combination of multiple families from all over the United States and the world. Uncle Jim from Atlanta is a proud libertarian. Aunt Kelly from Texas is a staunch conservative. Your cousin John from California is a diehard liberal. And guess what? They're all together to have an amazing time and share their different viewpoints on the world. Although we don't always agree with each other, we welcome these varied opinions and the robust conversation they bring. Wow! That's Blockbuster.
You should get on it.
I might.
Let me know how the wedding is.
The truth. The truth. What a wedding with those 3 people there.
Weddings typically don't have controversial conversations.
No, but they're not saying, but there are different views at a wedding. At a wedding, the chance for complete disaster is so high. There's so many varying views.
I don't remember ever being at maybe.
I've heard of some pretty disaster weddings.
I think that's Thanksgiving. They should have said Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a disaster.
Well, they know that Thanksgiving weddings are fun.
Yeah, weddings are fun.
I'm sure the Donald loves a
There's
good wedding.
nothing more disastrous and differing views than Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Weddings, typically, it's like,
No, but
if
the
you're
point-
all friends.
No, the point was just there's different viewpoints in the same venue together.
That's Thanksgiving.
No, but so is a wedding. Wedding has a lot more people.
But no one's talking about politics. They're getting smashed and dancing to fucking.
They're not talking about that they're talking politics. They're just saying they're all in the same place having a good time. That is the point.
Because Thanksgiving isn't a good time.
Thanksgiving sucks. The food is gross. Like the football game usually on Thursday is terrible.
All terrible.
It's the worst holiday.
Yeah.
And
If you
then
think about
everyone-
how good the playoffs were in the NFL and how bad Thanksgiving football is,
Yeah.
it's a reflection of Thanksgiving.
Yes. It's literally, and then all of a sudden you have to, at 11 o'clock at night, go stand in line for a TV. That's the dumbest holiday.
Yeah.
It's the worst holiday in the history of holidays. You wanted to talk about the NBA All-Star.
I did.
Why?
It's just Blockbuster.
Is it?
It's one of my favorite sporting events of the year. And last night, didn't disappoint. So, I mean, I know we don't talk about sports a lot, but in the second half, so they did 2 things. The NBA just does such a good job of like creating this NBA community amongst the players and including the old guys with the new stars. So yesterday they commemorated the 75 greatest players that the NBA and NBA journalists deemed as the 75 greatest players, and a lot of them showed up. not all of them, and they did like a ceremony pictures and everything, and so you just felt like the history in the building. You're like, oh my God, there's Magic Johnson, there's the current stars, there's the old stars, and like Dr. J and all these people. And like, if you're just an NBA fan, it was just like so cool to see everyone in the same building supporting the league that, made all their careers. And then in the third quarter, my God, Steph Curry put on one of the greatest shows in NBA All-Star history. This guy was just shooting from like 45 feet, throwing the ball and turning around, running away before the ball even like hit the shot.
I honestly think I watched the 3-point contest, which was entertaining. Dunk contest was terrible.
Dunk contest, Charles Barkley said, was the worst piece of television in television history.
And the ratings show it. You're talking like 3 million viewers. It's like bad.
Yeah.
I think if it wasn't for Steph, the entire All-Star weekend was a disaster.
It could have been, but Steph saved the weekend.
Yeah.
Because Steph was blockbuster.
Yeah.
This guy was in the corner of the 3-point, corner 3, shoots it, looks at the audience. Did it go in? And they all say, yeah. And then he sprints off.
You know what I want to know? I want to know what everyone on Truth Social thinks about All-Star weekend.
They probably hated it. But here's the best part. And this is if you take the sports angle out of it, Michael Jordan, greatest player of all time, was at Daytona 500 earlier in the day in Florida. He has a team. Bubba Wallace is the main driver. And he was apparently 6 feet. I don't watch NASCAR. I know nothing about NASCAR. But what I've been told, he was 6 feet away from winning.
Oh, like he almost lost.
No, he almost won.
Okay.
And so Daytona finishes apparently at 6:48 p.m. Eastern.
Hops on his PJ.
Michael Jordan is at halftime for the honorary, NBA 75. And my question to you is, what are the logistics that go on? Who knows if Michael was going to come if they won? What if Bubba Wallace won? He's celebrating his first NASCAR win.
He's coming. He's giving him a high five and keep him moving.
And who calls the police escort? Like, how does this all
It's all planned. It's all orchestrated.
You think it was orchestrated pre?
Yeah. I mean, it's Michael Jordan.
I know he's but you don't know when he's landing.
But Michael Jordan being at the Daytona 500 is so important to bring new fans to the sport. Because I saw so many people posting that thing yesterday.
Yeah,
Daytona 500. They're doing NASCAR in general feels like they're doing an incredible job of being inclusive, much more than other sports.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say even the NBA. NBA is leaning more and more left and losing a big part of the fan base, whereas NASCAR is in kind of saying, "Hey, we're just here for entertainment. Come join us."
But how cool is that? This when you're one of the most famous people in the world, a billionaire, you can just be in Florida at 6:48 and in Cleveland by halftime in the All-Star game.
Yeah, it's
incredible.
Perks of being a billionaire.
And you have to be famous too.
Yeah.
I don't think just any billionaire could have pulled that off.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because you need the police escort.
Yeah.
You're not getting to the stadium without the police escort.
Yeah. Or leaving Daytona either.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You need 2 police escorts.
Yeah, in 2 different states. He's got a great team.
Yeah.
They do fine
Whoever's
work
running logistics for the Jordan camp, bravo for your Sunday.
Yeah. Here's an interesting article that I was just reading. It was on CNBC, and it's based around an 84 person social media company that has always embraced remote work since 2015. Salary transparency. It publishes the entire staff's pay online, and they recently started surveying and found out that 91% of workers were happier and more productive with a 4-day work week.
Nonsense.
I mean, salary transparency is wild shit to me.
It's one of the dumbest things you could do as an employer.
I think it's the worst thing you could do, because it's not because
we've been dealing with employees for you 20, me 17 years. Nothing creates more conflict than one person finding out someone else makes more money.
So here's the thing that I wouldn't mind on the transparency side if employees could handle it. If someone goes, "Hey, Mary makes double my salary," then I'm like, fine, Mary is twice better than you. That is why Mary makes more than you. You suck.
But if you're allowed to say that,
yes.
Otherwise you get sued.
Yeah, you can't say that You suck. That's why Mary makes more than you. That's the problem. Is as an employer, you can't be transparent.
No, of course not.
You can only just whatever employees have so much control. And then now this company wants to do 91% of their staff wants to work 4 days a week.
Of course,
shocker.
91%.
Why would you even survey that?
Yeah, it's so stupid. And this is all going to end.
It's
Once
over.
the layoffs start, it's over.
Yeah.
Layoffs are coming. We've been talking about this.
The
It's
next
all
survey
over.
will be employers surveyed. Would you rather work 6 days a week or 7 days a week?
Yeah, it's going to be that. Like, if you're not willing to work 6 days a week, you're not going to have a job.
Yeah. You know, like our Chinese vendors we work with, Friday night, which is Saturday morning in China, they are all like, hey, working full. We aren't responding. They are working Saturday morning all the time.
I sent you a chart from Matt Huang, who runs Paradigm, one of the crypto big funds, and he posted a chart of all these ticker symbols. And he's like, weird, I can't find any of these on Coinbase or FTX.
yeah.
And it's just tech stocks.
Yeah.
And it's every single one's down 60 to 80%.
90%.
How many 90%. How many was it, like 70 companies?
Yeah, easily.
Easily 70 companies, and it's every name we've all heard of.
Household names.
Every household name. They're down 70 to 90%
Yeah.
from their highs.
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
Yeah.
People are getting laid off.
Yeah. They're going to chop in heads.
They're going to chop everyone.
Yeah. I was talking to an investor today, and
But the joke was because everyone shits on crypto.
yeah.
Like, crypto
Down 60%.
down, whatever. And he's just like, wait, I don't see any of these on Coinbase because they're all tech publicly traded stocks.
Yeah, and a bunch of them make a lot of money too.
Yeah.
Like PayPal is on that list.
Mm-hmm.
PayPal is very profitable, very healthy company, and the stock's down like 60-something%.
Yeah. No, I mean, I thought it was a pretty funny.
Yeah, it definitely went viral. And I think the thing about it is like the paradigm shift of like employees had all the power last year.
Yep.
Whether it was flexibility of work schedule, demanding higher salaries, potentially this 4-day work week thing. And what happens when things get tight, employers now have all the leverage, in my opinion. I think employees think they still have the leverage right this second.
Yeah, they don't realize
They don't realize
coming.
what's about to happen. And performance reviews are going to start coming. And they're like, we can cut the weaker people. And that's where you got to be very careful as an employee is like, I know you want to have the control and the power, but like, this is not the time to flex unless you are so fucking talented that like,
Yeah, if you're the LeBron James of your company, sure.
yeah, you could do that. And by the way, you'll have a lot of leverage, right? Because
They can't
afford to lose you, especially in tough times. But, as we know,
If you're hiding
Yeah.
within the organization, you need to show the
you're
fuck
like,
up.
your camera's not on in those Zoom meetings because you don't want anyone to know you exist, then
I mean, my advice is if you're in this like hybrid work environment, you better show up to the office.
yeah, I'd go out of the way to show up to the office.
Yeah, go 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Sorry, get off. You put your t-shirt on,
Yeah.
put some sweats on, and get to the office.
No, dress up. I
Dress
would even
up,
dress up. Go in a 3-piece suit
Yeah.
and tie, clean shoes, haircut done, being like, I'm ready to work, Mary.
It's like the heads are getting chopped.
Yeah.
It's so obvious.
Yeah. And these are at like
Tier 1 companies.
Yeah, these aren't-
They're
these are-
well funded.
yeah, well funded that have no imminent scare to their business. And if they're going to do it, then what happens is the mood shift changes for every CEO.
Yeah.
Be like, I should be cutting people too. Everyone's just going to cut people just
Of course,
to cut.
because it's going to go from the public companies are going to start first, and the private companies are going to go next. It'll
Yeah.
just be a lag for the private companies.
Yeah. I'd be in that office tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you better show up.
With
show
a
up.
bag of donuts for the boss.
Yeah, the old days are back.
Yeah. Bring donuts,
Bring
coffee,
donuts, coffee. Ask
water
them,
cooler talk.
Ask them how their kid's fucking baseball game
Yeah,
was.
how was Joey's baseball? How did he do? Hey, he struck out 3 times. Cool, I'll go practice with him.
Yeah, go show up to T-ball for the boss's
Yeah,
T-ball
happy
game.
hour.
Bring some snacks.
Happy hour.
Yeah, happy hour.
Yeah.
Grab that IPA
Yeah.
at 5 p.m.
Your boss wants to have a cocktail, you go.
Yeah, this is the pandemic days are done.
Yeah. If not, White Castle's hiring 100 robots to flip burgers. Your job's coming next.
Exactly. We actually joked about at the peak of this crypto retail run how no one wanted to take jobs and automation was like the last resort. They were forced to.
Yeah.
And now there's going to be no jobs and automation accelerated.
Yeah. So White Castle is going to install, it's called Miso Robotics Flippy 2 in 100 locations. So they're testing this in 100 locations to literally flip burgers. And that's nuts. I mean, even if that only reduces one employee per location, think about fast food. How many people, tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of locations of fast food restaurants, immediately, if this robot equipment works, you're talking millions of jobs gone overnight.
And if you think about the stimulus that both administrations passed and how no employee or one of these hourly wage companies could even hire people. I went to one of my favorite restaurants in LA, on Saturday night, which is typically one of the busiest places, and it's a casual Mexican restaurant. Walk up to the door, it said short staff closed on a Saturday night. You've been to this restaurant, I don't want to out the name. On a Saturday night, it's typically an hour and a half wait.
Easy.
Right?
Yeah.
And they had to close because they had no employees.
That's crazy.
So employees are basically digging their own grave by not showing up to jobs, forcing companies to automate.
Yeah, so they'll automate. The only thing that could help society is if that person who normally would be flipping a burger chooses to educate themselves for their next career.
I think they got too cocky with retail trading options and crypto.
That's not everybody. That's a small group of people.
So what are the other people doing?
What do you mean?
Meaning, like, all these hourly wage employees, why aren't they taking these jobs?
Because they don't want to. You got the flexibility because of stimulus to say, no, I don't want to work, right? That once that's in your head, you think you don't have to work, right? So whether you can afford to do it or not, you saw what it's like to not work, and it was nice. So now those people can make a choice. They can either just not make money, or they can choose to educate themselves in a new career path. There will be plenty, because here's the thing is like the only obvious place for someone like that to go is either to delivery, go to Amazon, UPS, FedEx. Those businesses are still going to be booming. You could become a warehouse worker, but that's definitely going to get automated. Not 100%, but like there's going to be automation in warehouses to some extent. So you have to either educate or you got to like, I don't know, you're kind of fucked.
I don't know. It's going to be the craziest social experiment / history lesson. The amount of liquidity that we pumped into the system to save the economy during the pandemic and the habits it created for employees and workers. And then when the pandemic's over, employers gain the leverage and all the employees can't take it. And it's going to take years of pain for all this to correct.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think a big reflection will be if we actually end up in a recession, at what point does the person that doesn't want that job, when do they break and just say, fuck it, I got to work?
Well, when they can't pay rent, right?
Yeah, or maybe like I'd rather be homeless than flip
or just
burgers.
go move back to their parents.
Yeah, move back.
Because a lot of people moved back to their parents in the pandemic either way.
Yeah,
and they got comfortable with that.
So then, if you're okay with that, then maybe that's really what happens. Is that like we all gonna move back to parents' homes, and that's just in the rest of the world, that's what happens. You live with your parents till you get married.
I mean, if you think about it, in like countries like Italy.
Forever you live with your parents.
Yeah, because sub 30 age, it's like 48% unemployment rate.
Yeah.
For sub 30-year-olds.
Yeah. Mamma mia.
Yeah, you have to stay with Mamma mia. You have no choice. Yeah. I mean, if you don't earn $1, what are you doing?
Yeah. All those 4 o'clock espressos, they just add up real quick, and then you can't have a place to live.
So are we predicting the U.S. just becomes like a European country?
Yeah, why not?
with crazy unemployment and just crazy social benefits.
Yeah, and then there'll be the wealthy.
Yeah, there's rich Italians.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, all those luxury brands. I do think maybe a couple things could change that. We were talking about there obviously, and there's a lot of tensions in the Russia and Ukraine situation, and I made a comment in our chat that war is great for America. That's something we're actually really good at as a country. We're great war people. And what war does, it does stimulate the economy. Because the military industrial complex starts pumping.
Right.
And then we start hiring people for these. We got to build planes. We got to build guns. We got to build missiles. We got to go
But is
build.
people going to show up to do the job?
Yeah, because those jobs overpay.
Okay.
They do. They just if you work in that industry, they pay very, very well. There's also then maybe a sense of pride comes. Because American patriotism to me does not feel high right now.
It's the lowest I've seen in my adulthood.
I was talking to someone that just recently started listening to the podcast on Saturday. He's from Ohio. And he was we were talking about race. We were talking about all these types of things. There's this thing happening with people right now where if you're an ethnic minority group, you have so much pride amongst your group, but you don't show the same pride as an American. If you're Indian, you're Asian, you're black.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen all
Latino.
the social media posts. Everyone has a cause.
Their subculture, they're so proud of it, right? And I almost feel that's a little polarizing. Like someone, if you post, Asian pride, and I'm considered Asian. And no one looks like me in that
South
picture.
Asian.
Sure, but I don't see anyone in the picture that looks like me.
Drop the South.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying, everyone has so much of ethnicity pride, which I think is important to have for community and culture and all those things. But at the end of the day, if everyone has their own little sub pride,
it's bad.
We have no nationalistic pride.
Yeah, we all pay taxes to the American government. Let's not forget.
Yeah, you don't get to pay to the Asian government.
I mean, you can if you want.
Yeah, you can.
But we are guaranteed to pay American taxes.
Yeah, and I just feel I get that we've gone through this whole racial kind of crisis in this country, but the end of the day, when you think about the problems this society has, if there's not patriotism to help, I don't feel like people are close to their neighbor anymore because everyone has so much self-pride in whatever the fuck they're from.
I mean, I hate to bring politics into this, but Trump broke American society.
Yeah.
He made everyone tribalism.
Yeah.
Right? You're either one tribe or the other.
Yeah.
And there's the
now there's 17 tribes.
Sure. And then the pandemic happened and we all were stuck at home. So the sub-tribes happened.
Yeah.
And between Trump and COVID, they broke American society as I'm 38, you're 41, as we knew it as Americans.
Yeah, there's no I don't know. I don't see any nationalistic pride as a country right now.
We've talked about this many times. Post 9/11, everyone was like America.
Yeah. That's why I think, honestly, some sort of conflict with another country.
No, because everyone will debate whether you should go or what you should do. And and then everyone becomes a Ukraine expert.
Yeah.
I'm not going to opine on Ukraine because I don't know anything about it.
By the way,
but if you go on Twitter, do you know how many Ukraine experts there are?
Yeah, it's the same thing. How many experts there are on Canadian truckers?
Yes.
That's not our country. Why are we
and
butting
you
in?
don't know a Canadian trucker.
No.
Everyone that's tweeting about Canadian truckers, you don't know Canadian truckers. You don't know what they stand for. You don't know what Trudeau's like.
You don't even know anyone in Canada.
You know Drake.
You know Drake.
If Drake wants to talk about the Canadian truckers, he is equipped to do that.
The only comment I have on the Ukraine is from Seinfeld, where Kramer said that Ukraine is weak.
You can't say that now, man. You're going to get canceled. You can't say
Kramer
that.
said it. I didn't say it. He always said that Ukraine is weak.
But yeah, we're not... how many foreign policy experts do we see on Twitter and social media now?
Everyone's an expert.
Everyone's an expert.
Yeah.
The intricacies between Russian separatists and these two regions in Ukraine and what Putin's goals are in NATO and natural gas.
I can guarantee you, I could walk down any street in America and I ask, where the fuck is the Ukraine? No one knows where it is.
And I can guarantee you could walk into any coffee shop and everyone has a very strong opinion on what we should do with Russia and Ukraine.
Exactly. So good luck with the 4-day work week. Here's an interesting thing. A Bitcoin bull and a crypto exchange co-founder is saying that crypto is going to have a rough next 2 years. I think the whole market's going to have a rough next 2 years. So I don't think this is just a crypto thing. I don't think there's any reason why if crypto has a hard time, that means the stock market's having a hard time. I think it's one and the same at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think crypto goes down and the market rips, or I also don't think crypto rips and the market just sits there.
Yeah, I think it's definitely lockstep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if this person's comment is, hey, the entire tech industry is going to have a rocky 2 years, then yeah, Bitcoin's going to have a rocky 2 years. But I don't really pay much attention. Like, unlike the Ukraine, I know a lot more about crypto.
Yeah.
So I feel confident.
Bitcoin is weak.
But, there's been people for, the last 13 years who have the strongest opinions and go on CNBC to raise their profile and make all these claims on Bitcoin's $1 million, Bitcoin's going to go to zero, and I pay no attention to it. And you just have to have a long view and you either believe in the protocol or you don't. And if you don't invest. If you do, invest.
Yeah.
That's it.
Pretty simple. On that note, I just got a notification. Stock futures fell sharply on Monday night, down 400 points on the Dow because of Ukraine, Russia tensions. So clearly the market is affected by it. You're seeing crypto dip right now as well.
I saw the Russian market was down 14% today.
Oh my God. That's devastating. Well, good luck with all of that.
Yeah, and I saw the UK is basically freezing all the oligarchs' bank accounts. Okay, and there's a lot of oligarchs in Russia.
Yeah, in Mayfair.
Yeah.
At Novikov.
Yes.
If you want to see them.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. So this thing's really heating up. I thought there was going to be a summit between Biden and Putin. I was like, great, the summit's going to happen, and this is not going to go to war.
Yeah, I think everyone's just kind of playing a game of chicken.
Well, not good. Let's move on. Here's another interesting thing that happened over the weekend. I think this is an enormous deal, and this is a blow to, in my opinion, anything but just holding crypto. OpenSea got insane hacked. Insane. The rumors, first I heard, was a $2 million hack. Then someone posted yesterday, $200 million hack. It was a phishing attack on email sending bullshit links, and someone in a matter of hours stole hundreds of... We don't know yet what the total is, but the number I've heard is big.
Yeah, so I think OpenSea got ahead of its skis, is the saying. Basically, they grew so fast and didn't have the security and ability to protect their users. Yeah. And I know OpenSea is blaming this outside hack, but guess what? Like, this doesn't happen on Coinbase.
Yeah.
Right?
So they're saying OpenSea is coming out and saying there's only 32 users and that it was $1.7 million of ETH in his wallet from selling some stolen NFTs. Whereas all these people that saying that it was $200 million, it's OpenSea is denying that number is real, that it's not that big of a hack. Here's what I know. Everyone's getting hacked.
Yep.
Just look at the name of the company. It's called OpenSea. Do you know what happens in the OpenSea? You get fucking robbed. Yeah. There's pirates.
Exactly.
And it's ironic that it's called a phishing attack in the OpenSea.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is like a disaster. If you think about how every day you hear about a Web3 scam.
Yeah.
All Web3 is for criminals and scams.
Yeah. You're a Web3 guy.
I'm Web2.
What do you mean? You're all crypto all the time.
Yeah, I'm ramped by Web2.
Okay.
I'm crypto, but you need Web2 security to actually walk into Web3. Like, don't you want the parachute jumping out of the plane, or you just want to jump out of the plane?
If you're in an open sea, I think you're okay with anything that happens.
Yeah, I think crypto is obviously incredible, and I believe in all of it. But the average user isn't tech savvy enough to protect themselves.
Yeah.
The 1% of crypto users that are in NFT are sophisticated enough to protect themselves with cold storage wallets and all these different mechanisms, and not click on links, not go into Discord. You can go into Discord and lose all your MetaMask in like seconds.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I've had some incidences.
Yeah, but no, think about it. You just go to Discord, click a link, your MetaMask is gone.
Yeah. By the way, fuck Discord.
Yeah, Discord needs to have some ramifications for it, right?
Yeah, Discord is literally like, it feels like Discord's just like a bunch of pirates sitting there, like Pirates of the Caribbean, just ready to rob everyone in sight.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
wild.
They need to have, I agree, like,
You need to show your fucking identity on the internet. I do not like the anonymous nature of the internet. I think it's flawed for social media. It's flawed for banking. I'm okay with decentralized banking where I know you are giving me money. You, Anand Murthy, are giving me money. But I don't like that, Robo6348 is giving me money. I just don't like that anonymous side of crypto. I know it's against the whole thesis of it. I just think it's stupid.
Web3 will not exist and scale without a Web2 on-ramp. I've been saying this for months because I've seen how many people get scammed. I've seen my own friends who are pretty sophisticated getting fucking ETH just stolen from them.
Yeah.
And they can stomach it, but the average person can't.
Yeah. Well, think about it. A lot of these people, they made like their first sign of wealth in crypto. You get hacked once, it's all gone.
It's gone.
You can never make that much money back
no
again.
No recourse.
Yeah. No insurance, no nothing.
And that's what Coinbase will solve.
Yeah.
Because right now it's like that Spider-Man meme, OpenSea versus MetaMask. Like each one's blaming the other.
Yeah.
All right, can we get a Run Club temperature check?
Yeah.
After the run, what's the NFT DeFi talk?
0. Fucking 0. I literally noticed that this week. Literally 0.
But I've gone periodically, and 6 months ago, that's all anyone talked about.
Yeah. I mean, well, they're all down. They suck now.
Yeah. No one wants to talk about it.
No one wants to talk when ETH is at 2,500.
Well, it's not even ETH. It's the DeFi protocols are down 90%.
Yeah, but even ETH is like the gold standard for this community, right? Like ETH prices reflect the mood, the temperature of the economy, of the crypto economy. It's not Bitcoin, it's ETH.
So D2C is over. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah. ETH's over.
DeFi and NFTs is like a disaster.
A robot's
so
taking
what are you
your
guys
job.
talking about? Just like getting
No,
cocktails?
we're literally getting drunk. Like everyone's like, where in Venice they went last night, or we should sign up for a marathon. Like we literally reversed 5 years. It's back to the same run club before. It was just about alcohol.
Yeah.
It's just about drinking. Where are you going tonight?
Maybe it's
That's
a
it.
simpler life.
It is a simple life. Eat to 0, not to the moon. Eat to 0. I think everyone will be happy. People go back to work.
Yeah.
It's too complicated right now. You're like worried about the price of ETH.
Okay. Good check.
Yeah. So did you were talking about this in our chat. Carl Icahn, there's a documentary on HBO Max that came out. Did you watch that?
I haven't watched it yet, but I want to, and I said I've heard good things.
So Carl Icahn is a legendary investor in Wall Street.
Activist investor. So activist means you basically take a large portion in a publicly traded company, and then you basically bully the CEO into doing whatever you want.
Whatever you want, exactly. And his thesis behind that is, he's like, I am not a public market investor because it's fucking gambling. That is literally what it says in the documentary. He's like, I can't be at the mercy of the public market. And so he started in the 70s, 80s with this thesis. This dude, amazing life story, like comes from Queens, I believe, came basically from the gutter.
And you watched it.
I watched it. Okay. Went to Princeton, went to the Army, hustled in the Army for poker, made a bunch of money, got onto Wall Street, then eventually became this like incredible activist investor. And so they document all these stories of him taking stakes in companies like TWA, Texaco, the oil company.
TWA is the airline.
Oh, that doesn't exist anymore. But how he took stakes in the company, forced change. And the most recent one that they used was Apple. He bought a huge stake in Apple, had Tim Cook over to his house, and basically said, you have $200 billion in cash. What do you think about buybacks? And Tim Cook did it. He did a 5-year plan to buy like whatever, $100 billion, $200 billion of stock. And obviously the stock is appreciated. He made a lot of money. But it's interesting to see like, and then the biggest story of his career was when Bill Ackman, who believed that Herbalife was a pyramid scheme, and Carl Icahn, just because he had a bone to pick with him over a settlement, decides to take the opposite side just to fuck with him, and obviously ends up beating Bill Ackman.
There's a great, if you guys want to Google on CNBC, a 40-minute interview of Bill Ackman and Carl Icahn screaming at each other. Oh, yeah.
So that's documented in the documentary. Yeah, it's in the documentary. It's amazing.
On live television.
Yeah. And by the way, Carl Icahn now is 86 years old. And yesterday nominates 2 people for the McDonald's board. So what is going on over there?
Yeah, so he's not a fan of how they make pork.
Yeah.
He doesn't like pig cruelty, and he claims that they're putting pregnant pigs in cages, and he's against that. I'm really curious, given Carl Icahn's background and career, that this is like one of the last deals he wants to do.
I mean, McDonald's is big.
It's big, but does he really care about pigs, or what's the angle?
No, this is his angle to get power into the board. What is a great scene towards the end of the movie. This guy's just making a vodka martini, but he's obviously older, so like the shaking is kind of hard. It's just like, but he's taking it. And he takes a taste. He goes, "That's good." Plays tennis every day. Takes a yacht from his house to the office. He lives in Miami.
Okay, Texas.
Big ass house.
I mean, he's worth billions.
$20 billion, I think he's worth.
That's crazy.
I like McDonald's is a good feather in the hat.
Well, I mean, you're 86. You've already made $20 billion, and what's
judging by the documentary? I don't know when it was shot. Let's say it was shot in the last 2 years.
So this was his approval. This footage.
Yeah. His son's in it. His daughter's.
But you told me there's a story about his son.
Yeah, his son basically similar. Went to Princeton. Brilliant guy. Started working at the company. Made the father get into technology. He's the one that identified Netflix and Apple for the dad.
Yeah, big identification.
But just clear like things that his dad looks for.
Yeah.
Made the company $5-6 billion. For some reason, leaves the company, and then they need a succession plan because obviously his father is aging, and they're talking about how they're negotiating in the documentary, and that even his son is back at the company now and like, you know, making decisions, but final approval is still his dad. Yeah. Which is just insane to just think of that dynamic. It's very much like the show Succession. But this guy's obviously very smart. He's not an idiot. And I thought the most interesting dynamic is that like Carl Icahn still cares at 86 years old.
I mean, guys like him are just built to just do this.
He looks like he's good for another 20 years, honestly.
I mean, Buffett's in his 90s, right?
Yeah, a guy like him doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, he's playing tennis, drinking vodka martinis, on his yacht to work.
Yeah.
What a life. All right, and final. Big bag alert. Britney Spears set to pen tell-all book in bombshell $15 million deal with Simon & Schuster. Second biggest ever behind the Obamas. Obamas apparently in 2017 for Barack and Michelle received a $60 million check, and she's getting 15.
I was thinking about this. So why wouldn't this be something like TikTok should buy and do like a 100-part series on TikTok of the Britney Spears doc?
I think,
and like it's just 20 minutes exclusively on TikTok, and everyone's watching like a 5-minute clip.
I think they'll get there. You got to have the talent to actually execute that on your side too, right? Like you got to have the person to buy the deals.
Yeah, but I just see like
TikTok's gonna have they're gonna be in the music business, right? Like they're gonna sign all the artists going forward.
but I just see random TikTok kids that it's super unprofessional. Like, this is what's happening with Taylor Holder, blah blah blah. Bryce Hall unfollowed.
But people
Taylor
like
Holder.
that. People like that.
And the views are insane though.
Yeah.
Imagine if someone's just like, Britney Spears in 2000 did this, da 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 da.
Like a full-on movie on TikTok. I think they'll do it. I think that was where I always felt that was the mistake Instagram and Facebook did, is they should have paid for the best content always. Like, I remember someone did a movie on Instagram story once, which is a clever idea. But like, why not take advantage of the platform and let people create, like make them create content for the platform? I mean, if I'm Instagram and I'm Mark Zuckerberg, I go to Kanye and give him $100 million. Like, yo, can you never post on any other platform ever again? I mean, Instagram for me is literally, I go and search and follow Kanye. But I don't want to miss whatever shenanigans he's going to post. I think these platforms don't think like that. They think network effect always, instead of just paying for and TikTok will pay though. TikTok will be the company that will pay.
Because they have both.
Yeah.
Network effect and realizing how to get talent on. But it's just Facebook was spoiled because they got to billions of users
without doing that. Yeah. YouTube pays for content. They pay their creators a lot of money. Mm-hmm. I was with a friend over the weekend who has a big YouTube channel. Staggering amount of money he makes a month on YouTube. And they don't do anything. They just have the views.
Right.
I mean, they're making 7 figures just posting YouTube videos, which is pretty crazy.
I mean, the Obama's getting 60 million. It's crazy too.
I mean, Michelle's book was huge.
So is Barack's.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. Who's buying all these books? Drama?
Yes.
I can't even remember the last time I paid money for a book.
I get books sent to me every month.
Oh, you're in a book club?
No.
Just random people?
No, my friend just sends me books.
About what?
All topics.
They know you don't read.
Yeah.
So you're just killing trees.
I'm just piling up books.
I want to get into audiobooks.
That's podcasts. I have too many podcasts I listen to.
But I would maybe I'll listen to Britney Spears. Maybe if she sang her whole autobiography, I'd listen to it.
If she was the voice, it would.
Wait, doesn't the author have to be the voice?
Typically, like Barack did his.
Yeah,
that must have been a good one.
Yeah,
to be an audio.
He's got a good voice.
Yeah.
Imagine if you have an annoying voice, then you got to hire someone.
The Island Boys. Can you imagine the Island Boys with the book?
I mean, I'd probably listen to that. I would listen to Barack Obama's autobiography with the Island Boys narrating it. I wonder if you could just pay the Island Boys to just narrate books you want to read. I want to read Peter Thiel's book, but I want to hear it from the Island Boys' perspective.
Are we sure they can read?
They could just repeat. All right. Well, that's it. That's all we got. Start to the week. If you're out celebrating President's Day, maybe a robot took your job while you were at President's Day. I hope everyone gets to work bright and early Tuesday morning. Find out your, the allergies of your boss. If they're gluten-free, they don't like that regular milk, find them that oat milk and take care of them.
You better.
We don't want to hear that.
Winter's here.
Flippy 2 took your job.
Yep.
Flippy 2 is coming for you. All right, everyone. Have a great week.